Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode on Altar Call. I am your host, Tane. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Love is Blind Germany Season 2 reunion. Here with me is my co host for this season, Brian. Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm fine. This reunion, they missed a lot of wide open targets, but I'm fine.
It's your fault at this point. It's your fault.
Probably.
You should know. Do not expect much. We are not deep diving anything. The reunion is just to look pretty and talk, but not to actually like find out the truth on what
So
is going
yeah,
on because a lot of stuff
the
was missed.
the American reunions have spoiled us. Where it's like, oh,
Yes.
we're gonna bring up some mess. We're gonna
Yes.
see fighting. We're gonna bring up people from the Pod Squad that didn't make it anywhere.
Yep.
This was a breeze. This was
Like,
so light,
I wouldn't be scared of a reunion if I was them. Like, just to tell you, are we together or not? I could do that.
right?
So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, there was big news there, but again, we're saving it and we'll get
There
there
was
and
big news.
we'll talk about it. But just a reminder to you guys, patreon.com/AltaCallMAFS. You can get bonus episodes over there. You can get documentaries. And just to let you know that Brian and I will be covering the 90 Day The Other Way Tell All. Not sure how many parts, but I was just telling Brian that I was catching up on watching the gaslighting of Chloe. Like reality stars like to throw that word gaslighting. This is actual gaslighting, and this is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
But
he's trying to make her question her own sanity, which is what gaslighting is. Not just lying to somebody, it's lying to somebody in a way that tries to make them go, have I lost my mind? Like, am I not seeing the world as it really is?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, catch up on that on the other way. We did do a mid-season or the season so far recap for before the 90 days. So you can catch that over there also. And also on the regular feed, guys, I am covering traders this week. I have a guest every week. So go check that out. And also check out my weekly show now, the reality show Ramble, where some of the shows that I don't cover, but I watch, I just talk about them and I just, share my thoughts on them. So just check that out. Like you might be surprised what show you might be in there. I even talked about the worst cooks in America, So,
Oh.
check. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So it's my outlet. Like some of the shows, like I know if I cover them, it'd be like one person who listens, but I
Right.
can squeeze that in there in the reality show Ramble. So that comes out every Friday or Saturday every week. So you can check that out. And a reminder also that we're wrapping up Love is Blind Germany season 2. And our next stop, we're back in the USA. Love is Blind, which is coming back, USA, which is coming back February 11th, which they still haven't announced the city. It's just,
Wild.
is it funny
It's
or is it
insane.
just, what are we trying to do here? Like,
I'm
okay.
assuming it's going to be somewhere insane like Omaha. Like it's going to be something that no one thinks of.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, we'll see where it is. I don't know where they're going to go with that. Okay. We are diving straight into this. We got a timestamp. It has been a year. And I say this every time. I always appreciate this about the franchise. They give us a lot of time to know if the marriage has stood the test of time, for things to actually happen, to get used to them, and then a year. It's not like back in the day of Married at First Sight. It's like 4 months later. We're still good, la di da.
Yeah.
And the shit hasn't hit the fan yet. So this is a good, timing for this to happen. So they start with each of them being introspective. We get voiceovers sharing about their time, what they've learned in the last year. And while they're doing this, they're all dressed up. They're walking through the pod halls as they do that. And I don't think I mind that because the next thing we see, they're all seated. They're all seated on the couch and the hosts actually walk in. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this. This is fine.
It's efficient.
Yes, it is efficient. And we see where people are seated, and I'm like, does this tell me anything? Josie and Gunnar are seated so far apart from each other that I'm like, oh my God, this is not
Mhm.
looking good. Why they make them sit together? The host coming for your refresher, Steffi and Chris. And we are starting with Josie and Gunnar. So I was terrified when they started with them because I'm like, shouldn't it be good news? Don't we wait for good news? Why are we starting with them to get it out the way? So the host asked, they don't waste any time. They're like, are you together? When they said yes, I didn't realize I was holding my breath. I was so
Yeah.
happy. And then they were like, finally, and they scoot closer and they're like, can I wear my ring now? And I'm like, yay.
Happy for them. As unlikely a couple as there ever has been
Yeah.
on Love is Blind, and they seem so happy.
Yes. Yes, it doesn't seem like they're trying to convince us that they're happy. It just seems like they're happy. They found their groove and they found, how to operate with each other, and we can see it. I think that's the testament of that. So he says that from day one because they asked him what he appreciates about her, that they've had like deep and important, honest conversations, that Josie never shies away from saying what she feels, and he appreciates that. They ask her if her love language of teasing him has changed, and she's like, not a one bit. That's not changing
Nope.
anytime soon. And we get a clip of their first year of marriage, and it was so cute, but little did I know it was the first of many clips. Everybody got a
Yep.
clip. There's a clip
Everyone
here,
got
a
one of
clip
those.
there. Whether you're together or not, you get a clip.
I did appreciate her leopard pants, though. I was fine with that.
Brian.
Got the job done. I'm pointing out the obvious. Because Wandy was sitting down the whole time. So I'm pointing out the obvious here.
Oh man. Anyways, so they tell us that they've closed the long distance between them and they've moved in together because it was so difficult being apart. They do ask her what she loves the most about Gunnar. She says a lot of nice things, but I find that Josie is good with words because during their vows, there was something she said, "Oh, I love the way you love me. No, I love the way I love you more because I thought the way you love me was what I love." And then the one that stood out here this time was she said his confidence, that his confidence heals her so much and he feels every corner of me that is uncertain. I'm like, come on, Josie. So
Bars.
nice to hear. Yes. And then as she says that, they kind of have to like ruin the moment by the camera panning to Jubril. Why?
I don't know
Like
why
you're
they did
gonna
that.
ask him any questions anyways. So Gunnar says it's easy for him, like that's very easy for him to do because he just holds up the mirror and her self-perception is wrong and she's not as broken as she thinks. I'm like, stop it, guys. Stop, please. So the host is like, okay, this is too sweet. Like, I hope you argue. Josie is like, well, when we argue, I argue with myself. Like, I'm just like trying to kind of fight it. Gunner's like, are you done? Like, can we eat now? So I don't know how I feel about that. Like, knowing Gunner, like what we know of him, it makes sense. But in the general sense of things, like, it is healthy to argue, like to talk about stuff. But knowing Gunner, I don't think that he's not addressing stuff. He's just like, is this beneficial to us? What are you doing? Right.
He also is the kind of guy who isn't bothered by that many things. So
Yeah.
it's like, if we're having an argument, it's because she's bothered by something, and then I just kind of let her yell herself out, and then we move on.
It's like a toddler.
But,
tire yourself out and you go to sleep. Okay.
Yeah. Eventually he's gonna stop. So we'll just let it play out. Yeah, and I can see that where he's like, what am I gonna argue about? I'm happy. Everything's good. Like, I have no reason to fight.
Yeah. I just think he feels like a lot of things are not that deep, like you said. And it's just like, if it's important, we'll talk about it. But for this, I just think, yeah, figure it out. Which still sounds bad as I'm saying it, but I don't know. Knowing what I know of Gunnar, it makes sense. But okay.
She seems happy.
Yes. They talk about children because of course they have to. And he's like, yes, I still have a strong stance on that. And I know that as human beings, naturally we evolve. But he didn't want to leave that door open or get anyone's hopes up. He wanted to come in and start from the level of, I don't want kids. Like, let's not play that game of maybe, will they, won't they? But he knows, who knows, where will they be in 4 to 5 years? And if there are changes, then we'll tackle it together. And the host is like, oh, I see that you're dealing with this differently. And it's like, yes, that's why we're dealing with it differently. And this is another thing that I appreciate about Gunnar. I'm very much a person who does not live in the moment. I'm thinking about the future, hypotheticals that haven't happened, all the obstacles that haven't happened. And this makes sense. Gunnar is just like, listen, if something comes up and we have to have children, then we can talk about it. But for now, I don't want one. I don't want to think about maybe not. Let's just operate that way and we're on the same page. I think I wish that Josie had spoken here. I mean, we know where she stood, but if she felt differently, I think she would speak up.
I
But
think.
I want to believe that they're on the same page when it comes to this. But it also seems like he's not opposed to it. He's just like, if the change comes, it comes. If he doesn't, also, we're fine. We'll talk through whatever it is that comes.
Yeah, and really, I mean, you could interpret that either way, which is why it would have been nice if Josie would have spoken, because the other way to interpret that is, who knows in 5 years if she's really going to want to have kids and I'm
Yeah.
not going to, and then we break up. So
Yeah.
it could be interpreted either way, which is why it would have been nice for Josie to say yes. If we both change and we both want kids, then it's one thing. But like, I'm fine with not, which is I think probably where she is.
Hmm.
But it would have been nice to have a little confirmation of that.
Yes. But also another thing is they may be just tired and sick and tired of talking about this, and it's like,
I
this is
would
our
be.
business. This is our business. We've told you time and time again. If I wasn't okay with it, I wouldn't say yes. And she
Yeah.
was okay with it. If I was thinking that she might change her mind, I wouldn't say yes. We're here a year later. We're happy. If we change our mind, that's our business. So who knows? That might be what it is, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So Jesse's so moved by their relationship, as is Wandy, and Wandy's like, true love is around us. And, you know, the host asked them, "Would you meet in real life?" And Josie's like, "No way!
Right.
Like,
Fuck no.
there's
This
no
guy,
way."
bald man from Berlin. No.
Met in real life. They did give Gunnar a gift, and it was a basket of Love Is Blind Germany non-slip socks, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah.
And it was just all around cute. And I know we've been saying love is not blind, but if ever there was a case for love is blind, when it comes to looks, when it comes to ideologies, when it comes to everything, like someone completely shifting their mindset, this is it,
Hmm.
guys. This
Yeah. They
this
had
is
nothing in
it.
common.
This
Like they
is
have no
it.
shared interests or anything.
Um, so as we said at the top of the episode, there were no Jabril questions, and this pissed me all the way off. Like, I get respecting the marriage. Like now she's still happy and she's with her husband, but that was part of the journey. Like, all I wanted to know was, what was it about Jabril that you knew it wasn't going to work? What was the thing that you said that it was platonic? And then what we said when we recapped it on the episode, Jabril, when you saw Josie, were you like, when she said like you were friends, were you blindsided? Did you think you were building something? Did you, is Josie the kind of person you would go? I don't know, but something. Let's not act like there wasn't a triangle.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
the
at least
point.
address the fact that this is a thing that happened on the show.
Yes, at some point, Gunnar thought he was a
Yeah.
gunner. Heyo. But
Oh no.
I'm sorry, guys. No, I'm not. No, I am not. But he thought he was leaving. So, like,
Hmm.
for us to just act like that never happened, that is very, very frustrating as a viewer.
Yeah. Yeah. It had you skip the pods entirely, you would have had no idea that this
Hmm.
was like a thing that ever occurred. And
Hmm.
there was a lot of that. There were
Yeah.
several opportunities to talk about pod stuff. It just never came up.
Yep. It just never did. So that was it. Did you have any other additions for Josie and Gunnar?
I don't think so. They're just really happy. Everything's great. Christmas tree, like everything seems fine. Oh, that chair
The chair.
conversation that spoke to me a little bit because I'm just like, no, I also as a man of some height, if the backrest hits me like in the middle of the back, it's uncomfortable as hell. So I get that. Didn't need to see it on the TV screen. Like I get that that's a thing, but like this is the shortest episode of the season, so they must have been trying to
Yes.
like fill some content. But I'm like, I get it. It's none of my business.
I guess it's like, because in the reunion they're saying like no fights and everything is easy breezy. Like, even when we fight, this is what we, it's not even a fight, but this is
No,
what we, disagree about. It's like cheer height,
yeah,
because who
this
does
is the
that?
most serious dispute we've had as a married couple.
Yes, we do. So, I mean, I do think another thing that was missing, though, we didn't see a lot of them like interacting with their families. But you know what? Maybe I'm being too strict, because the rest of the other couples, that wasn't the case either. So maybe it was just
Yeah,
focusing um on them. But I think I'm just curious about Josie's family dynamics that we didn't get a lot. She spoke about it, and maybe they didn't want to be on camera. But also, why not just
could
tell
be.
us like they don't want to be on camera? It's just odd to go through this whole thing and we have an idea of who Gunner's family is, his dynamic and all that stuff, but we don't for Josie, besides, what she told us. And the woman we just assumed is her mom. And we hope
Yeah,
is her mom, but we don't have
the woman I
confirmation
believe to be her mother.
whether that's her mom or not. Okay. All right. So good for them. We are happy for them. And oh, Wandy and Josie are just really good friends. Like, you guys know, Wandy was on there at her wedding, but even going on Instagram and stuff, like, they're just really good friends. And there's a third, no, there are two more girls that are in their group, but I guess they didn't make it past outside the pod, so they didn't follow them. But all good. This is the friendship and the love that they found inside the pot. All right, quick break, and I'll be right back.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The new year doesn't require a new you, maybe just a less burdened you. Therapy can help more easily identify what weighs you down, holds you back, by offering an unbiased perspective to better understand your relationships, motivations, and emotions. I know for me, this year, I'm hoping to work on managing my anxiety by not stressing over the things I have no control over. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is one of the world's largest online therapy platforms, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works. With an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews, why wouldn't you want to try this? BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com.
All right, Yasmin and Andy. Chris says, Yasmin, you said you wanted security. One could interpret him saying yes at the altar as the ultimate commitment. So why was it a no for you? I'm like, the shade.
Right? So why are you full of shit? This is essentially what he was saying. Why do you lie to us?
She says, it was difficult, but they just had too many conflicts, and she wished that it would have ended in marriage, but it just didn't. Andy confirms what we said last episode, Brian, because he said, like, honestly, I said yes out of empathy for her. Like, it was an emotional thing. And I don't think she said no because she has no feelings for me, but it's just, we're not ready to get married. But I didn't want to embarrass her
Crazy.
at the altar. But I'm like, is he implying like she was ready to embarrass me and I didn't want to embarrass her?
A little bit.
At the altar. So he was like, yeah, I didn't think it was all bad. Like, we spoke later and we talked about it. And then you get a clip, we get a clip. But as they're about to show the clip, Yasmin looks so nervous. I don't know why. And they show us what happened after the wedding. It was basically what we saw when they were talking. And it was like, why did you say no? And he's like, it's the same thing. Why'd you say no? She was scared of making a mistake. They're holding hands. And then he says, well, the way things are, it's good. And saying no isn't saying no to each other. And now we can work on things. And then both of them are like, both our hearts say yes. And then they kiss. But guys, we are experts. History has told us that you cannot make a comeback from a no at the altar. No one has been able to come back from that. And this is no different.
I don't care much y'all are kissing afterward. I don't care much y'all are talking. It's over.
It's done. For those of you who watched Bachelor in Paradise, where Dean just kept saying deaded. It's deaded. I thought this was deaded. And then Kat kept saying, what is deaded? I'm like, well, it's self-explanatory, but
Yeah, think about it.
understood. It was just funny that he used it 1,000 times, and she's like, I don't understand. Why do you keep saying deaded? But
It's the past tense of to dead.
so yes, they come back, and I guess for shits and giggles, the hosts are like, well, are you still together? I'm like, can you not tell they are not together? They're not even sitting
Right.
together. So
No.
Yasmin says it was a no, because once the cameras went off, he came out and he was just like, where's the champagne? I'm like, that's it? That's the only reason
I was
why
like,
you
that's the
were
problem?
mad? Okay. Then she's like, I changed. I couldn't find him. We had to go to the reception, and he left me there with both our suitcases. And then she checked into their wedding suite alone, and he was gone for no, she was gone for hours, and he never checked for her or asked. Like, he just kept eating and drinking with his guests. As she's talking, I think it was Jesse and Josie. They were making faces. They were just like, ooh.
Josie's faces were
Yeah.
crazy during the story.
So I'm like, what are we missing? Fill us in. Of course not. That's not going to happen. So she's like, she doesn't want to be abandoned. She doesn't want to be married to a person who's going to make her feel abandoned. He said he needed to process the rejection, and she's a person that is sensitive and needs attention, and that's okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. She laughs when he says that. And he says he just thinks that they have different love languages. And when he's hurt, he withdraws and he disagrees. Like, he's like, yeah, I don't think you were neglected. And then perfect Mr. Gunner, this is a little annoying,
Gunner.
interjects and is like, I know you're hurt, but I don't think that you should tell someone how they feel because it
Hmm.
doesn't help, in this situation. Just some advice as a friend. How did you
Yeah,
feel about that?
it was good advice, and I think he took it well. Where he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize I was doing that. Like, I'm sorry that I did that." I need to know more about what happened here because how do we go from I went to change to now I have our suitcases? Like, were they both in the bridal suite waiting for her? There was a lot of things where I'm just like, what were you doing that whole time, Andy? If you're just like at the reception having a party, at no point are you like, I wonder where my wife is at. Well, not my
Mm,
wife, my girlfriend or whatever. Like, I wonder where she is right now. I wonder where my things are. Suitcase is
yeah.
missing. Like, that part of it was confusing to me. And if you need time to process what just went on, I get that. Tell her that. Just be like, look, I really want to proceed with things. I really want to work through all of this and stay together. I'm gonna need like a little bit of time today just to like deal with being rejected at the altar. And like once I get past that, I'm down to come back. Just to ghost her when you guys are in the same building is insane to me.
Yeah. Yes, like you said, Andy immediately apologized, but says that he feels misunderstood because she sees him differently than he sees himself. And I agree with you. I think in this case, both things are true and both people are wrong. Both things are true in that what you just said. If you agreed, like, okay, you're not saying no to me, we're gonna be together. How are you not like a text message, like, hey, where you at?
Right.
Listen,
Something.
whatever the German version of type WYA. I hate when people do that, but if that's gonna make your life easier, we ye ah
Waya.
waya and put the two dots on. I don't know. I'm just kidding, guys. I
Right.
don't know
The
German
blue
language. Do that. Ask her sister, hey, do you know where she is? Tell her I'm looking for something.
house.
But I
Something.
understand where she's coming from. That it's the little things that I can't imagine being gone to, like, even at a party and where I'm nowhere and my husband is just like, oh, I figured you were like, I'll be like, out of
No.
curiosity, hell, where
Yeah.
are you? Like, we're in the same
20
building,
minutes goes
just at a
by. I'm like, what's going on?
yes. So for you not to even check for where she is, I understand where she's coming from. Also, she is acting though like, oh, I'm the model wife and girlfriend. Girl, you just jilted this man at the altar. And he is sensitive. His mama told us he's sensitive. He said it before. Like, you just either way, what I've come to realize is like, unless you tell the person ahead of time, which she didn't. That's the other thing. She had a chance to be like, listen, all these things, I'm probably gonna say no at the altar. So he didn't know that you were gonna say no, and you just told this man no. His mama and her twin, that we think is her twin,
Oh,
is
yeah.
like so ready to be exact. He brought his
Never forgive
family,
you
all
for
the
this.
things, yeah, and all that happened. That is a lot to process. At the end of the day, if you play what's that game, Never Have I Ever, if someone says never have I ever been jilted at the altar, you can never say no. I've never. You have.
Nope.
You've
In
given
front
that
of German and everybody.
to him. So he can process that, but that's not to say that you cannot tell, like, hey, I might be a little different today. Let me just, I might be a little off something.
Mhm.
Communicate,
Say
but
something.
also the expectations. It brings me back to the thing where we're wondering about Yasmin is, I know we're gonna get into it where he thinks that, this is all a game to be famous or whatever it is. Is Yasmin just picking at this man? Is she just, because remember in the beginning, even though they're not gonna frame it, she was being like set up to be the villain of the
Yeah,
season. We don't
she
even
was.
touch the quadrangle. There's not even a
Don't
quaw,
touch it. No.
a
There's no jangle.
mention.
We the part about that for me, the whole thing with the Pod Squad and Dustin
Yeah.
was a big part of why this didn't work.
Yes.
She saw
Yes.
him at like his most insecure and acting like an ass
Yeah.
and never came up. Like, if
Yep.
you're not gonna talk about the pods, okay, fine. At least talk about, have you seen Dustin since you guys broke up? We got none of that at all.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by they're both wrong in this situation, but it's just it's an odd situation, but it's also learn from history. If you say no at the altar, just go your separate ways and heal. Okay? Nothing's gonna happen.
Yep. Yep.
So I thought it was clear as day, but Steffi, the host, says she's confused. She was like, okay, so you got back together, but when exactly did you break up and how? I'm like, oh, so you have the chops to do a deep dive. We're just
Yeah.
choosing not to.
We just
See,
don't
who
want to.
cares when they broke up? They broke up already. We don't care about that. We want to know about Dustin, and we want to know why you thought it was okay to give Celia a letter with another person you
Yeah.
were breaking up with. Like,
Celia should have been on the stage with them. That was weird. And frankly, him saying they broke up 3 or 4 days later is even more confusing. So that night when she felt so rejected and you had not seen her, where did you go that night? Because you guys go back to the honeymoon suite together. Like we don't know what happened between her checking into the suite and then breaking up 3 or 4 days later. They should have broken up, but like, why not that night? They did not touch on so many important things.
yeah, they're so used to conflict. They probably fought about it and then made up as usual. And
Probably.
so he said 3, 4 days after the wedding, they broke up and he picked up on the bad vibes and they tried to clear it over the phone. Actually, they were not together. They were not together. This was over the phone, if
Right.
I recall.
Over the phone.
And it turned into an argument, and then she blocked him and ghosted him. And he find that very hard to deal with, the whole ghosting. Said the person who left a letter for someone, but I
Yeah.
digress.
Right.
And she says anytime she tries to tell him how she feels, he tries to tell her, no, this is not what you feel. And yes, she ghosted him, but she ghosted him after he sent, our translation was 100-year long message, basically meaning it was so long that he probably crafted with ChatGPT, but that's besides the point. So she didn't reply because she thought it was over the top. And he was accusing her of strategy. And she's like, you know what? I'm good. I dodged a bullet. We're not a good match. And she just doesn't think that he had the right intentions. And Steffi just neutralizes it and is like, okay, let's just make it clear. No one is at fault. I'm like, it's debatable.
I don't know all that, but all right.
And okay, let's make everything right. Let's show some never before seen good times. I'm like, what?
What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
I feel like they had that on standby. It was like, if anyone ever gets like, let's just roll the tape. So they roll the tape. They are showing some of their good times. There is a part in the video where he tells her, I feel this connection with you. And it's so confusing because prior to that, when they were arguing, he apologized. He's like, I think what I apologize for is not building an emotional connection with you. And I'm like, guys, you guys are so full of words. I think the internet thinks that they planned it. Did I see something like that? Something not like they planned it consciously together, but they're just two people who wanted screen time. So they just went ahead, with it. Because remember, I keep saying this magical wedding dress, like it's making people just change their minds. So I don't know.
That's true.
Yasmin is tearing up at this point, just watching their video, and he's so moved by this, things were good, but things just went left and it became really toxic. And he tears up and tells her, like, I hope you realize that this was real for me. And she's just like, yeah, her face basically says, in summary, my interpretation, yeah, that's cute, but yeah, I made the right call. Never, ever getting back together.
It's never going to work, so it's fine.
Yeah, it won't. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it for them. Just, again, missed opportunities left and right.
All right. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right. Luann and Jan. Knowing what was coming later, it is incredible that Steffi started their part by saying, the path to love isn't always straight.
My goodness. My goodness.
I'm like, we must just act like you didn't say that? Okay.
Foreshadowing.
So Luann says, in retrospect, the breakup was the best thing for them, but it was too much pressure and it just wasn't right. Jan says at some point, like, he stopped seeing the experiment as a failure, but as courageous because they recognized that it wasn't working. I mean, I just feel like this is nice, flowery thing to say. Like, yes, it's like Dr. Pepper always says, I hope you learn something individually, but the goal is to fall in love and get married. So in that regard, you did fail. Sorry.
Yeah, you blew it.
So we get a clip of their adventures after the experiment. And I don't know, they're just walking down the streets, having fun, having nerd conversations, and Jan is crying while watching this. Chris asks, oh, did anything happen after the breakup? And Luann is like, I'll let you handle this, buddy. And he's like, oh, they've spoken every day since. What they had was real and lasting. He learned there are different kinds of love to be had. And as if that wasn't enough, we get more clips of Jan
Of
in the
course we do.
pod. And it was just clips of, I guess, people rejecting him and saying, okay, we're not,
Yeah, him
whatever's
being weird,
happening.
basically.
Yes. So they tell Loanne, how are you doing? She's like, she's not giving up hope and in terms of dating. And then they ask Jan how dating is going for him. He says he wanted to experience the love that he had with Loanne after seeing that it is possible. And he found that with a man. And he says some may be surprised. He was surprised. Others may not be surprised. Just want to let you guys know that I was in this category because the very first episode, I texted Brian
You did.
and I'm like, I'm sorry, Brian. I do not think he is straight. And Brian is like, I don't see it.
I don't see that at all.
What you're talking about. And I do try to be careful on the show, guys. Like in terms of like when it comes to sexuality, those are people's journeys. So I don't like to like just come right out and just say things because, especially if other people are gonna hear it and things like that. So that's why I wasn't like, I think I kind of what I said, if I recall, was what he's looking for is not here. He was like, I know this may raise doubts about my authenticity. And he says that love is love and it's the person that matters for him, not the gender. And he hopes to be a voice to those who don't have the strength. So I think what he's saying, he said he was bi. I think he doesn't matter, or he's actually that's a pansexual. I think that's what it is. He doesn't
I don't
matter
know
what the
the difference
gender
between bi
is.
and pan, I don't think.
So, Jubril thanks him for being open and for sharing everything. Constantine and Chris are all teary and they're just happy for him and he's brave. And Loanne is like, this is the essence of, love is blind. So good for him. I don't think we've ever had this on any of the franchises. So him realizing that himself, if he had to come on the show, I think honestly, him bringing up the authenticity, I think he anticipated maybe the backlash. And it's kind of like in parallel to what is kind of going on with traders and people going on with Colton,
Yeah.
where Colton went on, The Bachelor, knowing, but at the time, Colton, listen, Colton is, I'm not a fan of Colton, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he did not know. He just said he was a virgin, like he wasn't attracted, but maybe in his mind, the culture he grew up in, he was just like, he was trying to figure that out, or I
Yeah.
don't know. But either way, I feel like I'm giving Jan the benefit of the doubt that I'm sure he came on here hoping to, because at the end of the day, he's not saying he's not attracted to women. He could still show up with a girlfriend. So I don't doubt the authenticity, but I think he just wasn't, fully clear with himself. He knew something was, going on, but he didn't know what it was. And the journey forced him to, because it seems like a whole pressure cooker and a whole situation to go through. And, for him to be, I think the only thing we kind of laughed at was he was so offended that her boobs were showing.
Yeah,
Like,
that
she
was.
didn't
I didn't
commit a
think she had
crime.
boobs like that.
I thought he was wearing a blouse. I'm like, Dad,
Right?
she didn't do anything wrong. She's like, no,
Yeah,
you
no.
got the wrong one, not me.
Yeah, it's like here they
So
are.
yeah, good for him to choosing this platform to come out here to speak his truth and for realizing that, because it really must be so isolated and so lonely to just go through that, trying to figure that out on your own, or trying to live a lie in all that
Mhm.
way. So in that way, congratulations to him and good
Yeah.
on him. Which is to say, who do you think is gonna have the first Love is Blind, like same gender, like the queer version for Love is Blind?
Oh,
Because that
I
would be
mean,
interesting, I think.
well, it'd be interesting, but it'd be hard logistically because then you can't have like the men's lounge because then all these guys are going to see each other. So the pods
Um,
would be a difficult thing to pull off then.
yeah,
You could do it.
maybe.
I mean, you could do it, but it would just be, you have to think through the structure of the show a little bit more.
I think you just split people. You just split people in half. So half the people can see each other, half the people cannot see each other.
You
And then it's
could,
more like blind dating.
you could do that. My concern then is what if I find a guy that I really want to be with in this men's lounge and then this becomes a whole thing. Like, I think that'd be
Yeah.
hard to avoid, especially if
Yeah,
it's like you find somebody that's having the same issues with these
that's
guys that
true.
you are. I
That's
think
true. It's
Yeah, it'd be
complicated.
hard to avoid.
I
You could
didn't.
do it, it would just need a kind of a reshuffling of how the show functions, essentially.
Yeah, I didn't think that through. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's true. Um, okay, yeah, Constantine chimes in to say like, okay, he was genuine, like he just wanted to back him up that he's like a little brother to him, and he was genuine throughout the whole thing. And Loanne also backs him up to say like, hey, like I know, like I was the person in question, and he was genuine. I don't know what it's like if anyone is out there in Germany to see what kind of reaction he got, because I know for the US, I know they're trying to like premeditate this and kind of like, what's the word, just preempt this. I know like if it was in the US, yes, he would get like some backlash of people saying there's no way
For
you
sure.
didn't know and you came and wasted people's time, and things like that. But I don't know what the crowd is like in Germany, so if anyone has any knowledge of how it was received, please let me know. I would like to know. Okay, so Wendy and Jabril, she's holding hands with Josie at this point. They never let go. They were just holding hands the whole time. She says the high was high in the pods, but when they met again in Greece, she expected more. And she just felt like Jabril was performative. Like, oh, let me do the right things in front of the camera. But off camera, she was basically his bro.
Yep.
He says that he can't say anything bad about her, that she's amazing, but he noticed in Greece that the spark wasn't there, and he realized that he couldn't offer her that. So we can tell that Jabril was going the route of, what was the name of the guy in Love is Blind DC who just came to the reunion and was like, the guy who broke up with the Marissa.
Yeah, the
Um,
guy had the really bad skin on his forehead, right? The guy that had the bad he had a
no, no,
breakout up
no,
here. Who am I
no.
thinking of?
No, he's the guy from he was
Which
the
movie is
guy
that?
who fancied himself stylish. I can't remember his name. It'll come to
I
me.
don't yeah.
But he came to the reunion and was just like, I'm just going to take it on the chin. Whatever you say about me is fine. I will not fight Ramses.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Ramses. When he came there, he was not going to like defend himself. It was just like, whatever you say is fine. It's okay. I think that's where Jabril was coming from. Was like, I'm going to be the bad guy. It's fine, but I would not say one bad thing, even though we saw you at the Pod Squad party running your
Went
mouth.
off on
But
her.
that's
Yeah.
okay. So,
Which again, not
uh,
brought up on the show. Not part of the reunion at all.
she did. I mean, she said that by the time they saw each other again, everything had changed. So my question was, how long were they separated for? From the reveal to making it to Greece, how long were they separated for? And also, I just want to clarify, because it is to me, but if you are engaged the first time you see the person at the reveal, and you go for the break to prepare for the getaway, and you sleep with someone during this break, it's cheating, right?
Yeah, you're engaged.
Okay.
Yes.
None of this came up. None of this happened. This was just something that came to mind because she mentioned that between the reveal and then meeting up again in Greece, there was a huge change. And I'm just wondering, how long were they separated for? If he reconnected with somebody else, if he slept with someone, did that happen? We'll never know because that's not recorded. And I'm wondering if that should now be included, that break, because a lot could happen, because that's where Ludovica's man got the keys and all that stuff, dropped his keys
Yep.
with somebody else, and so there's a lot that happens in that break that maybe they don't consider it real because they've been in the pod so long. Their reality is skewed. I don't know.
Yeah, it
So
could be.
yeah. So Chris says, well, I mean, yeah, it's okay not to have a spark, but maybe if you had been clearer with your words, she would have acted different. I'm like, come on, Chris.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
he says, that's true, but I had a fear and I had a feeling of being overwhelmed. I do got to say, guys, he did moisturize his lips this reunion.
Finally. Finally,
Glory
they were
be.
shiny.
Yes, they were. Glory be. Wendy says she would have accepted it if he had just come clean earlier, but the performance was basically whack. Like he was just not being genuine. He says, I didn't feel what I wanted to feel. And whether I was in love or not, we know it was or not, he wanted to be respectful. And then he's apologizing again and going the route of being contrite. But he kept saying, if that's what happened, so it's not a genuine apology. If
Yeah.
your apology is preempted with, if that's what happened, if that's what I did. And I see Wendy's face like, this man is performing again. I don't have any energy for him. And then she exchanged looks with Josie because they've talked about this
Oh, yeah.
ad nauseum.
Probably earlier that
So
day. You know what he's gonna do, right? Like that was the whole conversation.
So we don't really get anything because at the end of the day, Jabril is not coming right out and saying I wasn't attracted to you. And I think he's just choosing this was like Brennan and Maths, where it's like no matter what happens, I'm not gonna come right out and say you can do whatever. I'm not coming out with my mouth to say that. So Chris says his apology is clear. Wandy, can you leave it at that? Although I do see they were calling her Wendy, like you said, so I can't change now.
It's all
So
over the fucking place. It's
Wandy.
Wandy to me now. Yeah.
So she was like, "Can you leave it at that?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I got Josie and Gunner, so it's good." And then they're like, "Yeah, we see you holding hands. Are you ever gonna let go?" She goes, "Nope." And then Gunner's like,
Nope.
"Yep, I've been sharing all year." So,
I got them both.
so that was funny. So we get a clip of her comforting everyone. This is my summary. It was supposed to be like she was the light of the pods and she was there for every person and she had it. I mean, I guess they did the same for Jabril too. And honestly,
Yeah.
I know this was going to be this was supposed to be a good thing. Like, okay, you were light, everyone loved you, everyone trusted you. But a little part of me, I don't like it because I am a vet of Love Island, especially the one in UK. And it annoys me because the men never want to be with the black women on there, and their job is to be the one they run to whenever there's a problem. They're venting to them, they're comforting everyone. I'm like, they all came for love. Nobody came here to be Dr. Ruth. So why are
Right.
we assigning to this person? But Wandy's fine. She's fine with it. It's me, my American brain. We've come again. Someone out there is like, here we go again, race again. Sorry, but
It
uh,
impacts most things in life. So
yes, real life every day. Can't switch it off. So that was
right.
my only thing. Like it was nice. I like that they appreciated her. It was good that they appreciated her and to see that and she liked it. She's like, this is how I am. I'm a caretaker, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe don't do that, and then people can see you for who you are. Because I say this all the time, even to people in my real life. You don't want people to see you in terms of through the lens of what you can do for them. You want them to see you as a person. So that was my only thing for her. Like see her as a woman that she's a woman that wanted to be desired. She's a woman that wanted to find love. Also, it didn't work out, but hey, she got friends out of it. So that
Yep.
who am I? Why am I getting mad
Right.
for someone that's fine with it? They did the same for
Yeah.
Jabril too, and I will say that they do show the clip of him being emotional, and he said he needed a hug, and all the men just rushing to hug him. And once again, just like I did the first time, I found that very, very touching. So
Yeah.
that's
We
my
need more of that on TV.
we sure do. They did say that John helped them get in touch with their emotions and now, they're more comfortable crying and he was the what they call him, the cry master or something to that
Something like
effect.
that.
Yeah, but good for them. The more men we can
Yeah.
get to be in touch with their emotions, maybe they wouldn't cause any harm to people because they're letting it all out,
Hopefully we cause less. It's the best we
That
can do.
is the hope. Okay. So Constantine and Jesse are the last. And much like the weddings, they're last. And so I assume they're together because, again, we're not going to end on bad news. But they're also sitting far apart. And then they ask, are you still together? And then they're like, unfortunately. And it was like, yes, we can't get rid of me. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I don't feel
Thank
anything
goodness.
towards them. Like, yay. But it's not the way
Happy for
it was for
y'all.
Josie
I
and
don't-
Gunnar.
Yeah, I'm not emotionally invested in this relationship at all.
Yes, there you go. It was the way I felt like with Josie and Gunnar. So they get their rings together, they sit together, they hold each other, and of course, say it together with me. We get a clip of their first we get a clip of their first year, and
Back to Mallorca.
guess he left Mallorca because
He left Mallorca for a city I can't pronounce.
yes, they had to learn each other. They moved in. He moved into her place, and he moved to Nicotilafane.
There you go.
Nicotilafane.
He said it really easily. I'm just like, that's
Yes.
so many letters.
He
I
said
don't
it
know what
multiple times. It was like, yeah, I just moved to Nicotilafane. So she says him moving, that's always what she wanted, is the biggest proof of love because it's so like it's away from everything. It's like I think what she said. It's like it's a rural area or something like that. Basically, where Manon moved to
Right.
for
Yeah.
90
Hopefully they have
days.
a pharmacy at least. But yeah. He's like, yeah, I
And
like it. The small towns, the country, there's nature and quiet. And I'm like, all right, I can see how that's nice for you.
Yeah. So he's like, he never been happier. They're working on their communication, but they have lots of fun together and things feel easy. And I think this is more realistic. Like, I know with the Josie and Gunnar, it's like we never argue. And I'm like, huh. But this is like, listen, it's fun. Like, we're working on our communication because, of course, they didn't grow up together. They've only known each other not long. And you got to work at these things and you got to learn each other. But most importantly, they're having fun. So that wasn't enough for Steffi. And Steffi's like, well, have you had any challenges that you've had to face? And I'm like, okay, so this is clearly a setup, but you can't ask that question after they just said, we're doing fine, we're doing okay. If you're going to set up for him to
Mhm.
tell the story, just be like, oh, we heard you had an update that you wanted to share with us. Let's go that route, but not, it sounds like you're not listening to them because they just told you we're fine, we're good, we're great. Well, do you have any more challenges? Okay. But then we find out things go serious because Jessie starts to tear up and she says to, no, it was Constantine, I think. He was telling us
They
that,
both do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Constantine tries to tell us the story that, they started their marriage, they should have been enjoying each other, but then 2 months in, they found out that his tumor had returned. My heart dropped in my stomach
I
because
said, "Oh no," out loud.
I'm like, what? Like, is it like,
Yeah.
did it come back aggressive? Because the thing is with cancer is like when he comes back, it comes back with a vengeance. But his was
Mhm.
never cancerous, I think. It's a thing. They're always vague about it, I think.
I think it was a benign tumor, but any kind of a brain tumor can cause you
Could become,
problems.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, he th I felt for her because she physically could not speak about it, like, she tried and just couldn't get words out, and obviously, this is a scary thing to happen, um, especially when it's so early on in the relationship, and, I don't know how long he said he had been without the tumor,
Hmm.
couple of years, I think, but, like, yeah, this would be a scary thing, and the way that he put it was like, "My life was never in danger, but I knew that it was gonna be, like, a very long and hard road to recovery and all that." I'm like, that would put a lot of stress on any marriage, much less one between 2 basic strangers 2 months
Yeah.
in. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, he said, I mean, Constantine told the story the same way he said it in the pods, where we're all expecting the worst, but there's a happy ending at the end. He's like, it was challenging. They did not know what treatment to take. The only thing was, oh, but wait, my life was never in danger. I'm like, start with that
Yeah,
because we're
yeah.
expecting the
Tumor
worst.
came back, and I wasn't gonna die.
Yeah, but he had to take action and he knew that it would be a long road to recovery. But he's doing well right now. He's like, I'm doing well, even though like a few weeks ago I was in the ICU, I was in intensive care.
ICU? Like, oh my
And
god.
he's like, yeah, I had a big operation. But for someone who just had a huge surgery, he's looking good. He looks well. So thank God for that. And he's like, he couldn't have gotten through this without Jesse. Jesse proved to be an amazing and wonderful wife. And Jesse says, like, it was just very difficult for her. You could tell. I appreciated that she was trying to be intentional with her words. Like, I'm not trying to make it about me. Like, he's the one that has to deal with that. But it's like, I just found the love of my life. Like, I'm not going to find another man who's going to understand I have to go through this again. Honestly, I
Yep.
understand what she means because I tell my husband all the time, I was like, if you die, I just don't think anybody else is going to get me the way that you get me. And also, I don't think I'm up to someone understanding me and me understanding someone. I mean, I'm never saying never, but it's just, when you find your person, it's just like, really? It's hard to
Yeah.
fathom that this is going to be somebody else. And for her who found this person in the most unconventional way, and it's like, really? You're going to take this away from, so that was a lot of emotions for her. It's kind of like when someone is sick and there's a caretaker. At the end of the day, it's hard to articulate how you're feeling as a caretaker because at the end of the day, I'm not the one who's sick. So it
Yeah.
feels weird, but it comes with emotions too. So I think she was trying to be intentional and she was just like, I just learned perspective through him because he's always so optimistic. And he's like, yeah, that's just how he is. And that's the way he has to deal with it. And for someone, as we know, she's very controlling from the cleaning and the crumbs and all that.
Yeah.
She's had to
Yep.
learn how to let go. And she learned that perspective, but they're very happy, gets better every day. And, they're all well and it's all good. And that was it. And Germany has redeemed itself from season one. Season one was so gloomy,
Yeah, very
depressing.
forgettable.
in the dark.
Yeah, this was good. The reunion needs work. Y'all gotta talk about some drama sometimes. It can't just be, hey, everything good now? Okay, great. Like I would like to have touched on a lot of things that happened in the pods that were never talked about. I would have liked to touch on things that would have that happened at the meetup when
Mhm,
everyone got together, not talked about.
mhm.
But a much better season than season one for sure.
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, that's it. That's all that's going on with them. And we shall wait to see what international company, I said company, international season comes on next. I'm really hoping it is Mexico because, I really like that. But and also, Habibi is due for another one too. We haven't seen that. So,
Yeah, there's plenty out there to pick from.
yeah.
Frankly, I would like to see Love Is Blind Canada just to see what the fuck happens.
Ah,
Like put it in Toronto or something. I just want to see what the difference would be like.
honestly, I think it'll be so boring. They're
Probably
just,
Minnesota
they're
was
just
boring. It's
not
basically Canada. So
exciting people. So shout out to my
probably
Canadian listeners. Yay, yay. But
you get some fun accents at least.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yes, like we said, we're gonna do USA and then we'll see what happens after that. After USA, see what we go to next. If not, if nothing's out at that time, we still got Brazil in the pocket. I still haven't watched it
Yeah,
because I'm like,
I haven't watched it at
we're
all.
gonna cover it at some point.
Just
We
sitting
will
there right
see
now.
what happens. So well, that was it. Thanks, guys, for listening to us through the season. Hope you enjoyed it. If you watched it or didn't, hope you enjoyed the coverage. But before we go, Brian, tell people where they can find you.
Yep, I'm at Maps Virgin. We are covering right now season 13, I want to say it is, of Maps. It's the season right after COVID. It is already getting messy. Jose is already showing his whole ass, and it's not. He's a real problem already. So, if you want to hear us talk about that season, you can do that. You can also join our Facebook group, the Maps Virgin Fan Club, and follow us on Instagram and Threads at Maps Virgin.
Okay. You can find me, also called MAFS, on Instagram, on X, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. I live tweet what I'm watching on Threads. And please give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the new episodes. Until next time, guys. Bye. Oh, before I go, forgot to tell you guys that we're covering Welcome to Amish. No, Suddenly Amish.
Suddenly, Ahmed.
Suddenly Amish. So we're covering that bi-weekly, and that's gonna be coming out also pretty soon. So check that out also. Okay, bye guys.
If you're a podcast host, listen up. This one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle. And I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.